Alright guys, this is part 2 of the Washington Redskins playbook. The formation we're going to be looking at now is strong close. If you're not familiar with strong close, it's been one of the best formations in the game for years and years and years. And it is very effective in this game as well. What you want to do is, if you are a run first type of player, you want to come out in halfback force. This is what really makes the Washington Redskins strong close better than other playbook strong close like the Steelers, because it has this run. This run's very effective. You can take it inside, you can bounce it outside, whatever you prefer. Show it on the inside here, kind of back up the middle. You can flip the play. Move your halfback or fullback over there. Still pretty effective. Now, if you are a pass first kind of guy, kind of like I am, you want to come out in a wide trail. It's not an audible in this playbook, but it does have a very good audible in its place. We'll go over that in a second. But wide trail is pretty simple. Got your slant. Got your trail route to the tight end. And you've got your leak route to the fullback. Against cover 3, I would almost never throw to X. Show you right here. Unless you have a tall guy there that you feel comfortable trying to face catch with. I'll show you and I'll try to do it. I'm not the greatest face catcher in the world. It's going to look something like that, and it's not going to be consistent, and I don't really think that you should use that as one of your reads, but it does clear out space. If you have to roll out, it'll clear out the yellow zone and force him to play back a little bit more. Now the other setup we run from this play, we'll move it to the left hash so we can get the most effective look. And what you want to do is wheel your halfback. Now, this will create a makeshift screen on the right side of the field. And the way you want to throw this is with a down bullet pass lead. Take one step drop, down bullet pass lead. You have a makeshift screen, you make a guy miss. Sometimes you can break this for a pretty big game. So you definitely want to utilize this. You want to stretch the field sideline to sideline. Even though most of the routes are condensed over the middle, add this in for another dynamic to this play. Now, another thing you can do is to utilize a smoke screen, reblock your halfback. Now, the reason I say reblock your halfback is because if you don't, you won't be able to motion him to the right. You can hear my stick clicking to the right, he won't move. If you reblock him, then you can motion him to the right, and he turns into a smoke screen. Now, the way you want to throw this is you have to wait for the fullback to get out in front of him. You want to throw right about now. You get a nice turnaround animation, which is really, really strong in this year's game. And you get upfield pretty quick. And that's pretty much it from this against cover 3. Now, if we put the defense in a cover 2, this play absolutely destroys cover 2. Because of this route, this X route that I told you not to throw against cover 3, you want to throw this against cover 2. Outside pass lead, bullet directly to the left, and we'll move the wall back just to have a little bit more field to work with. Go to cover 2 again. Show you guys this. You want to throw it right now. Now, it's not always going to work. Sometimes the safety will go over there and grab it. Cover 2. There it is. You may need to wait a little bit longer for him to separate himself from that safety. But you want to practice the timing on this. This isn't something you should just go into game and try to throw, because you probably will throw an interception. And that's about it from this play. Remember, this is a really strong cover 2 beater. You have a lot of ways to stretch the field horizontally with the smoke screen and the wheel, but the routes across the middle are really going to give your opponent's user a problem. If they use their D-line, all you got to do is make reads. Make reads on the middle linebacker. If he follows the slant, you throw the trail. If he follows the trail, you throw the slant. Pretty simple. Now, the audible I mentioned earlier that we have instead of wide trail is a play called skins out. Now, this is an extremely popular play from Strong Close. The Saints book has it. I believe the Running Gun has it. I know Pittsburgh has it. The reason it's so great is this X route cannot be covered by man coverage. We'll show you guys that versus man coverage. I'm going to put Jordy Nelson back in the game. I have Richard Rodgers in there for when we go to our red zone play. But for right now, we'll stick with Jordy. Play is called skins out. Run this against 2-man under, and I'll show you the effectiveness of this route. Cannot be covered by man-to-man. Show it again just to show you that it's consistent. You get a lot of separation right there. And you have the ability to even pull off maybe a back juke. If the CB really gets lost, you can sometimes pull off a back juke or a spin and make him miss, and then you can really hit your opponent for some big yards. Now you have the option of doing the exact same thing from this play as you do from wide trail with the halfback, with the wheel route, or the motion smoke screen. I'm not going to go over that, but just to let you know, you do have that. And other routes you throw against man-to-man are the post over the middle, and sometimes you can hit this hitch route to the wide receiver with a down pass lead. Always down pass lead your curls, guys. Audible to a cover 3. Alright, it's not doing it the right way, but cover 3 would typically look like this. And what you want to do against cover 3 is sometimes you can actually hit this curl route if Aaron Rodgers didn't throw it in the dirt, but you can see that it gets slightly open. You need to read the middle linebacker. Now it's man-to-man again. We back out and call a cover 3. Skins out, cover 3 sky. So a lot of times that linebacker will drift over to the tight end, and you can slot that in there. And it's also a great way to play a cat and mouse game with your opponent. If your opponent is using this linebacker and you've been hitting him with this makeshift screen a lot, he's going to tend to drift down there and try to attack that before you can get to him. So let's try to simulate that real quick by putting Emmanuel Lemur on the halfback, and you can see how open this curl route is going to get. That's what you want. When your opponent starts to attack that, then you have the curl route. Likewise, you can also hit him with the smoke screen, and you'll have the exact same effect. The user will shoot over here, and then the curl route will get open. So those are 2 of our audibles. The next audible I'll go over is PA Skins Cross. I don't love this play versus a cover 3. It's good against man-to-man. And it's actually fairly effective versus cover 2. So we're going to back out and go into a cover 2 and show this play. PA Skins Cross. The best way to make this effective versus a cover 2 is I wheel my halfback. It's the first thing I'll do. It's just base align. Your defense against cover 2 looks like this. The routes you want to look for are the post to B and Y as he breaks up the field. You can split the safeties like that with the post. Or you can wait a little bit later and Y will break up the field right now. You kind of want to put a little bit more air under that. Show it again. There you go. That's what you want. Because you're causing the flat zone on the outside to drop down to RB, because you have that flat route there, eventually the wheel will cut up field and get open, and the safety is going to be occupied with this post route from B. You won't be able to get over there quite in time. Now you can try to lob this deep. I wouldn't recommend this with any slower halfbacks because you're just not going to have the speed to go get the ball. But as you see right there, if you put a bullet pass in there, you can sneak it right in between the zones and potentially get a huge gain. Now this is a dead giveaway that this is going to be a pass play. I get that. But that's why you use this situationally. Typically your opponent will go into a cover 2 once he sees you hitting the flat. So moving on. I'm going to save our LB audible for the last play because that's going to be a red zone play. Let's play skin seams that you see at the bottom of your screen right there. The other 2 plays that I really like from this formation are tight end option and PA end around. We're going to go over tight end option first. And let me just say that PA scissors is a very good play. If you guys are watching this video and saying, hey, M-Stack, you completely forgot about one of the best plays, I realize that it's a good play, but it's been gone over many, many times. It's in several different formations in the game. It's in I form, weak, it's in a ton of different stuff, so we're not going to go over that in depth. Just know that you can run that as well as our other play action play. But the play I want to go over right now is called tight end option. And you want to run this. This is pretty good against any zone, but it's super effective against cover 3. Your first read against the cover 3 is B. As soon as he breaks, you throw the ball. Now, Cobb dropped it. That's going to happen from time to time. You gotta trust your read that it's cover 3. It may not look open right away, but if you throw it too late, like right now, you're going to get that pretty much every time, or the safety is going to jump up and pick it. So that's your first read. Your second read is going to be A. If the linebacker drops back to cover the post, you'll have A underneath. He's on a stick route. He'll sit against zone, or he'll go to an out versus man coverage. Your third read is the halfback. As soon as he breaks up the middle, you'll throw him the ball. Your opponent probably won't be expecting a halfback route to the left, because most of our halfback routes have gone to the right, to the strong side of the formation, so this is a nice way to mix it up. Now your very last read, and it develops fairly late, is this X route. You want to hit him after he breaks and after that yellow zone drops down. Now it's tough to get this much time in the pocket, especially in muck, so you may have to do a lot of moving around. And if you throw it too early like I just did right there, the corner will jump up on it. So you wait. See, you barely have enough time, but you can see that it does get open and it sits right under the deep blue zone on the left side of the field. If you want and you need a lot of yards, you can max protect. It's not going to be really good because you don't have any other routes controlling the zones over the middle. or the hook zone and flat zone on the left. But you can do that as one of your options, possibly. I wouldn't recommend doing that all the time. And so the last passing play, I believe, is going to be PA end around. Now this PA end around is different than normal strong close PA end around. Normal strong close PA end around will flow from left to right. The routes in this play flow from right to left. We're going to call PA end around versus cover 3. I usually put B on an in route or a drag route. What you want to do is roll out to the left and look for A, or you can throw it to B. Nifty little pass from Aaron Rodgers right there, a little flip pass. And those are your 2 reads from this. Pretty simple. The last play I'm going to show is our red zone fade play. And that play is called skin seam. And for this play, you want to make sure you have a tall guy with good catch in traffic at this left wide receiver spot. So I'm going to put Richard Rodgers in. He's pretty tall, has some decent spec catch in traffic on him. And we're going to call this to start versus cover 3 sky. I'm going to run this. It's most effective inside the 5, but we'll show it from just inside the 10. And in order to get the rocket catch animation, you need to fade B. And when you want to throw this is right now. Now, like I said, this is a lot more effective from inside the 5. But you can also hit it sometimes from inside the 10 or just inside the 10. The reason this is so good is he sits in a really unique spot against cover 3 and most zone coverages for that matter. Show it against the cover 2. The only defense that this is not very effective against is man-to-man. Because the break on that route is not sharp enough to really get separation in man-to-man. See to get a nice pass right into the back of the end zone, right over the safety. Right now. It sits in such a unique spot, like literally like almost out of bounds in the back of the end zone, which is really, really awesome. Put a tall guy in there and just say run to the back of the end zone, and we'll throw it up high and go up for it. I mean, the spec catches in Madden, especially the rocket animations, can be really unrealistic, but I feel like this play, we're not abusing something too hard. We're doing what they do in real life football. So that's why I really like it. And like I said, it's super effective, so. We'll show it from inside the 5. Typically inside the 5, your opponent will be in like a goal line, or sometimes they go in that special teams goofiness. So we'll go into goal line and show you versus goal line real quick. Skin seams, fade B. And you get that animation in the back of the end zone. Now this, in order for them to stop it every time, they have to use rings. So you can also throw to A. Now, I didn't wait long enough. That's on me. But when he sits down, you can throw it to A as well. When all else fails, you can just break down and scramble around. And sometimes you hit, sometimes B will get open in the back of the end zone on the fade route. Now, Cobb isn't the tallest guy in the world, so it's tough for him to go up and get fades, but you can see how effective it would be if you had 2 tall receivers. And there you go. That's the animation you want. They're not always going to catch it. And so I'll do a very brief rundown of what we've gone over so far. Halfback force is our main running play. Our main passing play, as far as what we're going to come out in as a base play, is wide trail. You've got skins out as an audible. You've got skin seams, which is our red zone play. You've got PA scissors, which we didn't go over, but is a very good play as well. Very simple to run, just run it stock. Tight end option, which is not a play that's in our audibles, but it's a very good play. You have PA end around and PA skins cross. Now you can run the counter. I don't love the counter, it's okay. If you're a big counter guy, your offensive line set up to run counters, it can be effective. We also have the dive off the right side of the center and the right A gap. And you have the dive weak, which is an audible off the left A gap, which is nice to mix in if you run a lot of halfback force, run a little inside outside run game against your opponent. Guys, that's going to be it for part 2. This is strong close, and the next video will be going into our next formation in this Washington Redskins free ebook. Once again, if you guys do enjoy this content, please hit a like and hit that subscribe button. Feel free to comment as well.